Hello and welcome to the OXM Report, brought to you by official Xbox magazine. This week we've come to an amazing tropical island, but unfortunately it seems to be filled with psychopaths. That's right, we're here to see Far Cry 3.
Hi, my name's Jamie Keane. I'm the lead game designer on Far Cry 3.
Perfect. Okay, so Far Cry, it's kind of been a long series now. There's been a couple of spin-offs, but I mean, it's kind of nice to see you going back to your roots, i.e. the beach. With this one,
definitely.
Really. Far Cry 2 was, did include lots of sand, but it was quite a different style and quite a different tone. You've gone back to the original styles with this bit.
We kind of wanted to cherry pick, because obviously we've got a really rich heritage with Far Cry to pick from. We wanted to kind of cherry pick the different bits that kind of fit best with what we wanted to do with Far Cry 3. So we wanted that kind of really lush tropical setting from the first one. Then we wanted to kind of capture a lot of the tone that we had from Far Cry 2 as well, because it's a really, really gritty, realistic tone, and kind of take those two elements and then add our own elements of DNA on top of that, mostly in terms of kind of character development and narrative, and making this much more about a story that you're going to engage with on a very personal level. So we kind of end up with something that's got the best of what Far Cry's done before, and then added to on top of the experience from that.
Yeah, because I mean, it looks like you are very much going for the kind of personal horror. We saw this character. Oh, what's his name again?
Vaz is the guy. Yeah.
Vaz. Yeah. Vaz didn't seem like a very nice character, to be honest.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
No, he's certainly not. No, definitely. He's really out there, definitely. And that's the thing about the insanity that we want to kind of capture with that. The intensity of his experience, the intensity of his kind of performance and stuff, that's really something that we want to kind of drive. But they're not all going to be like that on the island. Yeah, we want to have this really rich cast of characters. We want to make sure that all these guys have their own way of doing things, have their own feel about them. So his kind of hallmark is intensity. Other guys you're going to meet, you're going to think, hey, this guy's okay. And then you're going to slowly discover, no, he's really not. He's really quite wrong. He's really twisted. So that's the kind of feeling that we want to have, is that you're never quite sure what's going to be happening and going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the earlier quotes that came out of E3 a lot was Far Cry 3 is going to climb through your window with a knife, and I thought that was brilliant. Can you give us any more examples of like ways you're really aiming to really get inside the head of the players?
No, definitely. I mean, and that's the thing, that's a really good example, because it's not the monster under the bed that scares you. I think this is Dan saying this. It's the guy climbing through the window with a knife, and that's the kind of feeling that we want. We want you to feel unsettled in the world. You're never quite sure about what's going to be going on. Some guys, I think you'll see it as well in the way that when you run around in the world and when you move around and drive around in the world, the things that you come across out there. So sometimes, yes, it's going to be a guy trying to shoot at you. Another time, that same guy that would be shooting at you, maybe he's kind of waving a white flag and he's saying, hey, can you come and do this thing for me? So that kind of slightly unsettling feeling of you never being quite sure about what's about to happen with the characters, with the world itself. We want you to feel slightly unsettled, and again, that's all about how you're feeling as a player, definitely.
Cool. So you arrive on the island and you're there with some friends. Are you there with your girlfriend and some backpackers, or?
I mean, that's the kind of the setup for the story. Is you're kind of a 20-something kind of guy who's off traveling. He's had some success in his life. He's had some frustrations. Thinks he can take on the world. So it's kind of like you're that guy off traveling. You arrive at this place and you're kind of like, yeah, whatever. You kind of see it and it's like, wow, this is an amazing place. Looks like a great place to go traveling. And then you realise that some of the stuff going on there, it really means that it's really not a great place to go traveling at all. And that's that feeling that we want. It's a slight, I hesitate to say every man, but certainly it's something that you could kind of picture yourself doing, and then suddenly driven to a million. So.
Okay, so on the grand scale of things, you've got Vaz, a man who seems to take a lot of pleasure in tying bits of stone to people's ankles and chucking them into a waterfall.
Yeah, he's a lovely character, and he's the kind of example of what happens when you get like a sociopath that's put in a place without any rules. He's a really, really driven character, but he's kind of like a meteor, right? I mean, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about in the dev meetings and stuff. It's kind of like, okay, so this guy, you can see that he's really on the rise within the island, and he's kind of within the coal power structures of the island. But he's going to burn out. There's no way that somebody as intense as that's kind of pulling off this kind of stuff has got any kind of duration. So he's really kind of like, he's going to go hard, he's going to go fast, but he's going to, we'll see what happens during the course of the game. But it's, yeah.
He doesn't seem like the sort of guy who's going to make many friends, I'll be honest.
No, I know, particularly if he keeps tying stones to them and dropping them into wells.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Well, for me, the main question really is what we're seeing, it looks fantastic. The only worry is that it might just be this kind of like, it risks stepping into that realm of being generic psychos on an island sort of thing.
Yeah.
What's the motivation? Why are all these most people on the island? Is there an economy there? Is there some sort of... Is there anything you can give us?
It's a super fine line to be treading. That's the thing. We don't want this to be kind of psychos are us or anything like that. It's something where we kind of like want you to kind of be feeling like, okay, this guy is, yeah, he's genuinely scary without becoming a cliche. I can't go too much more into what's happening on the island, I'm afraid, but that's something we're super aware of when we're doing the development.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thanks.